So after the midweek success against Oxford, where Phil Foden of course shone, we're now going to be looking ahead to this weekend's Premier League game against Brighton at home. It's another 3 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday, something that you won't find many people complaining about, and we're going to be talking about what to expect from Brighton, City, and what kind of game we think this is going to be. Let's get into it, guys. So yeah, we're going to be looking ahead to the Brighton game in this video. Before we do get properly stuck into it though, as always guys, if you do enjoy this video, the best way to show your support is to leave a big thumbs up and share the video if you do so feel inclined. As well, make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. We actually recently just went over 100 subscribers, so thank you so much for your support in the early weeks of the channel. It really does mean a lot, and that's why I love doing this. Your support, the interaction with you guys in the comment section, it's always massively appreciated, guys, so keep it up, really appreciate it. So yeah, Brighton on Saturday. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of team we play straight off the bat, because we obviously played Oxford in midweek. You're expecting to see a very rotated team compared to that. The likes of Foden, Muric, Diaz won't be featuring. I think that goes without saying. But we have got Hoffenheim on Tuesday, 5 to 6 kickoff. Really annoying kickoff time, and yeah, I think he might rest a few players with that in mind, so it's going to be interesting to see what team we line up with. I think you're going to be seeing starts again for Gabriel Jesus, resting Aguero potentially for that Hoffenheim game, especially after he picked up that little knock. There's no need to risk him. I think you're going to see Mahrez starting again purely due to the fact he scored 2 again in midweek and seems to be hitting a bit of form right now. Edison's going to be coming back in between the sticks, that goes without saying. I think you'll see Laporte and Stones reunited as a centre-back partnership. Of course, Laporte not playing in the week. Stones did, but he played in a more midfield role. I think you'll see them reunited at centre-back again. Delph should be back, I believe, so he's going to be coming in at left-back, and then Kyle Walker in at right-back as well, in my opinion. The midfield's always the interesting area because we've got so many options. De Bruyne still out injured, of course, but there was a bit of news emerging today from the press conference. Guardiola saying that he should be taking part in his first training session since recovering from the injury in the next couple of days or so. So that's exciting. Of course, it doesn't mean he's going to be playing in tomorrow's game, but he is making a quick recovery, and that's something that De Bruyne does seem to do. He seems to, whenever he's had an injury, he seems to come back really strong, really quickly. So let's hope that is the case again. The midfield's where it's always really interesting because we've got so many options in there, and again, that central area is really hard to nail down what I think we're going to be starting with. I think Fernandinho's definitely going to come back in. He didn't play midweek against Oxford. I'd like to think David and Bernardo will start in the centre again, but Gundogan's also been in decent form, so whether he picks him over one of those two is going to be interesting to see. But I'm hoping to see the two Silvers in the middle of the park where they were so effective a couple of games back, so hopefully that is the case. And then I think it's going to be Sane, Jesus and Mahrez leading the line, with Sterling being kept at bay. He came off the bench against Oxford. I think he's going to hold him back for that game against Hoffenheim in midweek. So that's what I think we're going to line up like. But it's always so hard to predict with City just because of the incredible squad depth that we've got, especially after playing in midweek and the fact that we've got Hoffenheim on Tuesday. But let me know who you think we're going to be playing in the team against Brighton on Saturday. As for Brighton, it's going to be the typical kind of game, I think, where they're going to sit back, try and get scraps on the counter-attack and play for set pieces, that kind of stuff, as most bottom half teams tend to do when they come to the Etihad. They actually are without one of their key players at the moment, Pascal Gross, who was very influential for Brighton last season, contributing in goals and assists constantly, and I think he was their highest contributor on that front in the whole squad last season. So they're missing him, that's without doubt at the moment, but they have still got a couple of other dangermen. I mean, Glenn Murray, a player that seems to still do it week in, week out, even at the grand old age of 35, and he's someone that's often underestimated and is a very good box player, so we need to be careful of him. If the ball does end up pinging around in the box, he's usually the guy that seems to stab it home or just get something on it to put it in the net, so we do need to keep an eye on him. And also Anthony Knockaert, a player that can be very dangerous. When Brighton came up to the Premier League, he was the Championship Player of the Year, and he shows flashes of brilliance. He's got great ability, he just doesn't seem to do it in a consistent basis. He floats in and out of games, but if he's on it, he can be a very dangerous player. So we need to keep an eye on him, especially on the counter-attack. Got a bit of a trick in him, got a decent amount of pace as well. But all in all, I think we all know this really. Brighton are a team that we should be able to beat, especially at home. In terms of how the game is going to play out, I've already touched upon the fact that I think Brighton are going to do what most teams do at the Etihad, which is camping their half on the edge, try and hold us off, play on the break, play for those set pieces to get the ball into the box and try and cause a bit of havoc. And we've got to react to that. We know we do it week in, week out at home. We try and break down teams. It's always going to be a matter of getting that first goal. Once that first goal goes in, the other team's forced to come out. It leaves a bit more space, and that's usually when we go on to score 2, 3, 4 sometimes. So that is going to be the key, as always is the case, getting that first goal. If we do that relatively early on, I fancy us to get a few goals. But if Brighton hold on in there, it's always a danger that they're going to gain confidence, going to grow into the game. And then, if it's only 1-0 or 0-0 going towards the end of the game, they're going to be really playing for something and there'll be bodies on the line. I mean, Brighton, I'm sure, will put bodies on the line anyway, but, you know, when it gets towards the end of the game and they've got something to go for, that's when it can get pretty intense. But hopefully that won't be the case. But yeah, I think it's just going to be a pretty familiar pattern at the Etihad, something that we see fairly regularly. Prediction-wise, I'm going to go for a 3-0 win. As I say, I think it's going to be a pretty familiar pattern at the Etihad. I fancy us to keep a clean sheet. It's always going to be a matter of getting that first goal. As long as we can get that first goal pretty early on, I suspect it could be comfortable. But if Brighton end up hanging on in there for a little bit, it could be a little bit tense, obviously, if they've got something to play for, if it's only a marginal lead or 0-0, you know, or you know, we don't want to think about it, but if Brighton are in the lead going into the last sort of 10-15 minutes, it could be pretty intense. But I fancy us to get a convincing win, 3-0, clean sheet at home, and I'll be very happy if that is the case. But that's going to end off the video, guys. As I mentioned at the very start, leave a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and don't forget to leave your comments, predictions, thoughts in that comment section down below. It's going to be very interesting to see how we line up on for the game tomorrow. So let me know if you agree or disagree with the lineup that I've predicted. And yeah, if you did enjoy, like I said, leave a big thumbs up, and I will catch you all in the next video, which will either be a match review / match reaction, or it could be a match day vlog, because I'm not sure if I'm at the game or not at the moment. So either way, you'll see some sort of content revolving around the Brighton game in the next 24-48 hours. So I'll speak to you all in that video, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening, enjoy your weekend. Nidge out.